Hey, how's it going? I'm back with another episode of Gran Turismo Sport. Sorry I didn't put out an episode last week. I was feeling a little sick, under the weather. I didn't really feel like talking into a mic about the races, so I did a few races last week and did pretty good, but we're just going to jump ahead to this week. We qualified second place, racing at Autopolis in the VW Scirocco. Got off the line very nicely, took P1. So far pretty good. Into turn one, a lot of people going off, a couple penalties as well. Coming down into turn two, Elliott just pulls off a really great move, just comes up the inside, nice and clean. I get the inside of the double apex, but he has the inside for the hairpin and keeps P1. Getting a little contact from behind, kind of pushing me off a little bit, but not too big of a deal. Drop down to P3. We'll see what we can do to get back up there. That corner always gets me. I still don't know how to take that properly. It's such a wide, long turn. Drop down to P4, into the next hairpin, get a decent exit out, and come down into this long right-hander. Catch up a little bit to P3. I know I'm faster than these guys, that's why I'm kind of close, just trying to figure out what I can do to get around. I might even hit the guy because I can go through this section fairly well, but I'm just stuck. It's really technical and narrow through there, so it's kind of hard to overtake. But I get on the inside here, manage to move up to P2, take the outside line because I know the other guy's on the inside, manages to squeeze out P3, probably get P3 again. I feel like he could have left me a little bit more room. I was on the side of him, but whatever. There's still a few laps of the race left. Coming to turn one. It seems like I get a little bit better exit. I also get his slipstream, so I'm able to try to make a move, but just not there. He covers off the inside. So we just come up around to this double apex. And then he goes wide in the hairpin, so I can come up the inside. For some reason he gives me a little tap, don't know why. It's like you got a clear line going into the next turn, so that's one thing I don't understand about this game. You have a radar for a reason, so use it. Like, we don't have side mirrors, we don't have that great of a field of view, so Gran Turismo Sport gives us the radar so you can see what's going on around you. I just don't understand why people don't use it. Regardless, again, I'm on the inside. We're side by side going in that turn. He hits me, but whatever. I get P2 back. Finally get ahead of this guy because I know I'm quicker than him. Come up through these S's. Another double apex. Late apex here. Power on. And we'll come through. Starting to catch up to P1. So we're getting our momentum back. Just gotta stick with it, stay consistent, and then we'll get into Elliott's slipstream, I think, a little bit towards the end of this straight, but we'll see. Not too much. Come down into turn one, gained a lot of time on Elliott. So we are just 2/10 away. Let's see what we can do here. This is lap 3. Doing very well through the double apexes, and then he brakes. I wasn't really expecting that brake. It was kind of early, so I went to the back of him. and we had some contact through there. I get a penalty for it. Comes back on the inside, takes P1. I drop down to P2. P3 is right behind us, so it's basically a fight for first right now, down into the hairpin. Try to give everybody plenty of space. I go through, and then I have to serve my 1 second penalty, drop down to P3. And then I have P4 right on me. So, with a lap and a half left, I'm back down to P3. Pretty frustrated, obviously, because my line isn't too well right now. And I'm just trying to do whatever I can to come back. And luckily I didn't have to do too much. These guys kind of just screwed each other over. Just fighting up there, not being consistent. Cool Nasty's got a 2 second penalty because of that. So all I have to do is just stay behind him and I've got my win. But obviously if there's a chance to overtake, I'll overtake. But there's no sense in doing anything stupid. So we just keep our position, keep a cool head, come back down in turn 1 for the last time. Take it fairly well. He couldn't keep his head cool, went wide. And then, as you can see, goes into Elliott as well, because he's not paying attention. And from here on out, I keep P1, keep these guys at bay. They pretty much just do their own thing back there. Fighting, not staying consistent, so I just had to play it safe, just stay cool, and come out with a win. And here we are at the very end of lap 4. Decent little gap, and we come in P1. So all in all, that was a really good race. Got a victory out of it. Even with the penalty, there was a lot of close racing in there, so yeah, it was pretty cool. Hard fought, good win. And so here's race number 2. Qualified in 3rd. Decent start. Probably could have been a little bit better. Turn off traction control, coming into turn 1. Move over to the outside. Barely miss any of that going on. MMTMXX, whatever the hell his name is, got a penalty. I'm not sure if he had hit someone or cut a little bit. Another guy going off there. Got the inside, and this guy just completely disregards the fact that I'm there. Hits me multiple times. I'm getting sandwiched into the hairpin. Luckily, he gets this 2 second penalty because, yeah, that was just pretty ridiculous. He's just all over the place right now. But it's lap 1. After this, things will kind of settle down a bit, so we'll just let it go. I mean, these guys got penalties anyway, so I'll be able to make it ahead. Get tapped from behind, just a little bit. Recover nicely. P1 and P2 take their penalties, and we will gladly take P1. So far so good. Have a half-second lead. But it looks like Kyle, I think he's quite a bit faster than me, and he's catching up right now. So I just got to try and keep everything nice and tight and hold this guy off. Coming in the last few corners of lap 1. Still have a little bit of a gap. Coming through this long right-hander to the finish of lap 1. Still in P1. Everything's looking good. I'm going to take a defensive line because I feel like P2 was close enough to get some slipstream and come around, but it looks like he decided to keep it a little safe. And I go a little bit too wide into P1. He gets a little bit of an undercut. It's got the inside for the next corner. And there he goes. Comes up the inside and just about overtakes me. I come back, but he's got the inside for this hairpin, and there's nothing I can do. So I dropped down to P2. But I'm still happy with that. I know Kyle, he's qualified, I think, a second faster time than me, so it's probably better to let him go than fight with him and both of us crash. On that last corner, usually I get through there pretty clean, but that time I took it terribly. I go off the track a bit. P3 was able to get my slipstream, come up alongside of me, down into turn 1. We're still kind of close to each other. I feel like he should have known that I was there and gave me a little bit of a space, but he didn't like it, so he hits me again. I don't know why. And then we come down into this corner, clearly turns into me, and then goes off the track. And I get a 4-second penalty. To me, that's kind of a bitch move. Like, you know we're all next to each other going into that turn. Why are you going to turn into me and then go off the track just to give me a penalty? Like, it doesn't help you. You're going to go fall behind. I mean, I just don't get it. There's people like that out there that will try and abuse the penalty system, turn into you and go off the track and make the system think that you hit that person off the track when it didn't even happen. So here we go. I'm going to take a 4-second penalty after doing fairly well. Now I've dropped down to P4, luckily only P4. If it was any closer race with the guys behind, I easily could have been in almost last. But game P3 again. Still frustrated. I'm just trying to get up there as fast as I can, back close to the guys up ahead. But unfortunately, that's all I could do. After that penalty, P1 and 2 got pretty far ahead, and I just had to keep P4 at bay, and not too much had happened throughout the rest of the race. And ended up in P3. Yeah, it was just a shitty way to end that. And then the guy that gave me the penalty, basically, I mean, he only came in like P7. So it's like, what the hell was it for? And honestly, after that, I checked out his profile, and he's a decent racer, but he's super inconsistent. Like, for maybe a week or two, he'll be high safety rating, you know, winning and all that stuff, and then the next week he's like got a C safety rating. So he's all over the place. Like, if he wants to screw with you and do some dumb shit to you, he will. He doesn't care. And it's unfortunate we got to deal with that. Anyways, off that little rant, here's our last race. Crazy turn 1 again, but fortunately I came out of that P1, held P1 throughout the entire race, and just got another victory out of that. Anyway, guys, like, hopefully you enjoyed that. Yeah, these races are a lot of fun for me, and I'm really enjoying them, and I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna possibly move on to Assetto Corsa as well, so be on the lookout for those videos. But anyway, guys, like, just take care, and I'll see you in the next one.